gutted buildings on the verge of collapse, piles of rubble and debris, and residents trying to salvage what little they can. This is all that's left of the northern Gaza town of Jabalia, 200 days after the start of the Israeli offensive.
We don't have money, we don't have anything. 80% of all life in Gaza has stopped. All the houses and buildings are destroyed.
According to the UN, more than 70% of residential buildings and 80% of civilian infrastructure in Gaza have been destroyed by Israeli bombardments. The IDF regularly publishes videos of strikes supposedly targeting Hamas fighters. Yet, despite its assurances, Israel has shown little concern for collateral damage, as shown by the scope of the destruction and the mounting civilian casualties. Over 34,000 Palestinians have been killed since October 7th. More than half were women and children. Sabrine al-Sakani was 7 months pregnant.
She's the daughter of my dear son. I will take care of her.
In the southern city of Rafah, over 1.5 million Palestinians who fled the fighting are now trapped between Israeli bombs and the closed Egyptian border. Most are trying their best to get by and forget for a few hours at least the horrors of the
Just checking. Holy shit. That just took that building out. Yeah, it did. Should we get away from the windows? Take the cover. Right over us. Yeah. Move it on.
Наверх полезем, подожди, сейчас в этот. Сейчас они готовятся.
Цель 800, фарвац 8, и ветер 2 секунды.
Работа.
Есть попадание.
Следующая цель 700.
Цель 700.
Будет один пристрелочный. Один пристрелочный, если...
Выстрел!
Ukrainian assaults have continued south of Bakhmut in the Donetsk region. Ukrainian forces have reportedly made incremental gains, maintaining pressure on Russian forces deployed in the area. Ukrainian forces are making progress in the south as part of their counterattack to reclaim areas controlled by Russia in its 19-month-old invasion of its neighbor. Ukraine's counteroffensive aims to secure control of areas around Bakhmut to recapture the town, which was seized by Russian forces in May after months of heavy battles. In the south, Kyiv wants to advance to the Sea of Azov to sever a Russian land bridge linking areas it occupies in the south and east. Ilyet Evlash, spokesman for Ukraine's eastern group of forces, said troops had scored a partial success near Andreevka, which they captured last month along with the nearby locality of Klishivka. "We are repelling constant attacks near Klishivka and Andreevka," Yevlash told national television. "Every day we are making headway in the Bakhmut sector. We are talking about hundreds of meters at a time that we are liberating from our enemies and strengthening our positions. It is, however, too early to talk about achieving concrete goals." Ukrainian prosecutors in the Donetsk region, the focal point of Russia's campaign in the east, said Russian forces had shelled areas east of the Russian-held town of Donetsk, killing one person. The coking town of Avdiivka, which has resisted Russian advances for months, was also shelled. General Oleksandr Tarnavsky, commander of the south, wrote on Telegram that Kyiv's troops were continuing offensive operations in the drive southward. "We have had partial success to the west of Verbov," he said, referring to one of a cluster of villages that Ukraine is targeting, with the larger town of Tokmak the next large target. Ukraine's counteroffensive has made slow progress in both theaters. Still, President Volodymyr Zelensky and other officials have denied suggestions by Western critics that Ukraine has failed to achieve its objectives and is hampered by strategic errors. Yesterday, Ukrainian forces repelled Russian attacks in areas of the Donetsk region already recaptured by Kyiv and around the long-contested town of Mariinka further west, the latest battlefield report added. The drive southward has been slower than lightning gains a year ago in the northeast. But Ukrainian troops have captured a string of villages, and officials say they are readying themselves around Robotyne and other villages for new advances. The advances come amid skepticism from Western allies, who said that they are running out of ammunition to give to Ukraine. Governments and defense manufacturers now had to ramp up production in a much higher tempo, said Admiral Rob Bauer, NATO's most senior military official. "We need large volumes. The just-in-time, just-enough economy we built together in 30 years in our liberal economies is fine for many things, but not the armed forces when there is a war ongoing," he was quoted as saying by BBC News. President Volodymyr Zelensky has shrugged off the criticism that the counteroffensive was not producing expected results, as the latest General Staff report claimed Russian forces had been unsuccessful in attempts to recapture ground near Andreevka, a village in the east recaptured by Ukrainian forces last month. Ukraine's campaign in the east has focused on taking villages to facilitate the recapture of the devastated city of Bakhmut, seized by Russian forces in May after months of battles. Russia's defense ministry said Moscow's forces had struck Ukrainian positions close to Andreevka and a nearby village. It also said it had downed 31 drones launched by Kyiv overnight over 3 southern Russian regions, but reported no casualties or damage. A Ukrainian security source said Kyiv's forces had carried out a drone attack on the western Russian region of Belgorod and hit an S-400 air defense complex and its radar. According to a report from the Agence France Presse AFP, officials in the area have said that Avdiivka had come under heavy artillery over the past day, and that Russian President Vladimir Putin's troops were attempting to encircle the village. As of March, the critical settlement had a population of roughly 1,700 people sitting on the front lines of the Russian-Ukraine war. Kyiv has managed to hold on to control despite near-constant Russian shelling for months. For over a year, there has been the danger that Avdiivka can be occupied, but now the situation has worsened rapidly, Vitaly Berevach, head of Avdiivka's administration, told AFP. Avdiivka police officer Pavlo Dyachenko also told AFP that the town was undergoing a severe artillery attack. Newsweek reached out to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry via email for comment. Ukrainian military officials also acknowledged that Russia had conducted several attacks toward Avdiivka, but said Tuesday evening that all of Moscow's advances were unsuccessful. Russia has focused much of its offensive campaign near Donetsk city as Kyiv continues its counteroffensive operations to regain territory in east and southeastern Ukraine. On Monday, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces claimed partial success near the villages of Klishchivka and Andriivka, which are both located just southwest of the Russian-occupied city of Bakhmut. Meanwhile, ISDA reported that Moscow made no claimed or confirmed advances in the area. "We are repelling constant attacks near Klishchivka and Andriivka," Ilya Yevlash, a spokesperson for Ukraine's Eastern Group of Forces, said on national television, according to a report from Reuters Monday. According to Kyiv military officials, Ukrainian forces reportedly advanced in the Zaporizhzhia region on Monday west of Rubov and repelled a Russian attack north of Novoprokopivka. Russian No bloggers also reported marginal Ukrainian advances southwest of Russian-controlled Orikhiv, according to ISDA.